Welcome to Startup Hacks. So big news for Meta Connect 2024, folks. Meta just dropped some bombshells that are going to change a lot of how we interact with technology in the future. I don't know if this is stuff that we're going to see in the next month or two, but this isn't your average keynote stuff. I think this is going to be big as we move forward. Now, he was talking at Meta Connect, Zuckerberg was talking a lot about next-gen AI models, the AR advancements, and a whole new way to see the world, quite literally. So Meta's making big moves in the world of AI and augmented reality, and you need to know about this stuff. So whether you're a developer or just love cutting edge tech, this news is going to be interesting to you. So stay tuned, because we're breaking down a bunch of different points from Meta Connect 2024, and there's a lot to unpack here, so let's dive in. All right, so welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thomason. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and to build custom software solutions for companies. So I do a lot of work as a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and a solid 25 years in software development, I've mastered the art of transforming technology teams and products. So let's dive straight into the big announcements from Meta Connect 2024. Now, there's going to be some interesting stuff here, and I'll be interested to see what your guys' opinion on this is. But let's kick it off by talking about the unveiling of their next-gen Ray-Ban smart glasses. Now, these aren't your average AR glasses. This time, Meta has really gone after the real-time AI integration, allowing wearers to get on-demand information about their surroundings. We're talking about instant translations, visual AI-powered search, and even facial recognition. Now, if Meta gets the pricing and the use case right, we could see these glasses on faces of millions of people in no time. But the real question is, will these actually gain traction? So far, AR has had a really tough time really taking ground. If even Apple can't seem to get people to wear them, then I'll be curious to see if they can get better traction than Apple did. Now, granted, what they've built here, I think, is a lot more realistic than Apple's Apple Vision Pro, which was heavy and had a whole bunch of problems. But the big question still remains: will these gain traction, or are they going to fall into the AR gadget graveyard along with a host of other things? Now, time will tell, but Meta is definitely betting big. And so all of the former metaverse world, the AI world, a lot of this is really coming into these AR glasses. So now Meta didn't stop with glasses. They also announced Project Orion, which is their long-term AR project aimed at blending digital and physical worlds seamlessly. So imagine a world where your AR glasses replace your phone, where digital content overlays seamlessly onto your reality. So Meta's aiming for the stars here, quite literally, with this one. They want to create an ecosystem that'll take AR out of niche applications and put it into the daily lives of millions. So it's interesting to see is, we think about Google Glass, which was almost a decade ago, right? And that was a huge flop then, right? But why was it a flop, right? What things didn't work? So execution is everything here, and Meta is betting huge on this, right? And so I think Meta learned that people don't want to sit in the metaverse only, where they would just sit, with a goggle on and then connect over the metaverse. I think they're really trying to figure out how to take this technology they've been working on and to blend it into real world life. Now, some of the stuff that I got really interested in is how they integrated it into Llama 3.0. And so this is Meta's answer to ChatGPT. Meta Connect wasn't just about AR. They dropped a bunch of Llama 3.0 and their latest and greatest AI model, which is Llama 3.2. And it's being positioned as the answer to OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. So with the Llama 3 variants, Meta's pushing the boundaries of conversational AI, making it smarter, more efficient, and better suited for integrating into apps, services, and everyday devices. Now, developers take note, this model is going to be integrated everywhere, from Meta platform to third-party apps. Meta's making it easier than ever to harness AI in the way that we'd only previously dreamed. Now, speaking of AI, let's talk about Meta's new AI vision model. This system takes computer vision to a whole new level, with the ability to recognize objects and scenes and even people in real time. So if you're a developer in a computer vision, working on computer vision or any field that involves image processing, you should probably be paying attention to this. The potential applications are huge. AR, security, retail, you name it. And if your company has a systems that aren't connected, hit us up here at Startup Hack, because our specialty is building systems that connect to each other. And so we want your company to be able to work like a well-oiled machine. So check out startuphack.com/Spencer and we can help you out. Now, Meta is one of the other big announcements here for Meta Connect was their expansion into AI-powered search. They're leveraging Llama 3 variant to create search experiences that feel more intuitive, conversational, and hyper-personalized. Now, picture this. You ask a question, and instead of just get a list of links, you get an AI-generated direct response that understands the context. So it's basically like ChatGPT on steroids, but it's also integrated into Meta's ecosystem. This could be interesting as we move forward for how we find information online and developers who want to start thinking about how to integrate these capabilities into their own products. Now, Meta also made a bold move by addressing AI ethics and safety, something that we've all been concerned about. They've promised to implement better safeguards, transparency, and user control with Llama 3 and future AI models. They didn't dive in too deep into the specifics, as is always kind of the case, a lot of security buzzwords. But I think Meta wants to be seen as the responsible player in the AI space, especially after all the scrutiny and weirdness we're seeing going on at OpenAI right now. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. But whether they can deliver on this remains to be seen. So it's definitely something to watch. I think there's a huge AI race going on here in a bunch of different ways right now. We're seeing OpenAI just go through all kinds of weirdness right now. And again, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, so make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because I try to bring you guys valuable content here. But Meta, I think, is trying to at least brand themselves as the responsible one in these big players, right? We know there's scrutiny on Grok. We know there's and so as you see Meta taking these stances here, I think what you're seeing is Meta trying to figure out how it can brand itself as the responsible one. Now, it does open source all of its models. What it doesn't totally open source is the training. So that's where we get into some of the hair splitting, but I don't think it's actually that much hair splitting. I think it's some of the stuff we're going to need to keep an eye on in the future. Now, combining AI with AR, so with this augmented reality, is where Meta's vision gets really interesting. And this is where I think some of the work on the metaverse, some of the work that we've seen with the Quest, I think we're seeing a lot of this finally start to get together. And look, Facebook or Meta has spent billions of dollars in these areas, right? The metaverse play was a huge gamble by Zuckerberg. Now, right now, he's been writing down just tons of money on it every year. But I think they're finally starting to really kind of figure out and hone into where that's going to be. So imagine wearing your AR glasses, which just look like a kind of a nerdy pair of Ray-Bans, right? They look like sunglasses without, dark lenses. But imagine wearing your AR glasses and getting real-time translations, AI-powered visual search, and even AI-guided navigation right before your eyes. This is where Meta is trying to push AR to the next level, not just a gimmick, but to make it an actual real-life tool. So the potential here is really big, but the challenge will be making sure the tech is reliable and that it doesn't overwhelm the users with information overload. He talked a lot about why we won't need the phone. And I think, man, if I had, the nice thing about my phone is I can put it down. And I guess you can take your glasses off, but if you're actually wearing glasses, then that might be kind of tricky. So anyways, let's not forget that Meta is still the king of social media, and they're now working on integrating AI deeper into platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So we're talking AI-generated posts, enhanced content moderation, and even smart recommendations powered by Llama 3. For content creators and businesses, this opens up a lot of opportunities to create more engaging, AI-optimized content. And for users, hopefully this will mean less spam and more relevant posts in your feed. AI isn't just the future, it's right now. And I think they're trying to figure out ways to make it useful with all the billions and billions of dollars they've spent on AI at this point. Now, Meta's pushing hard to dominate both AR and AI, and they're not shy about it. Whether it's through the smart glasses, Project Orion, or Llama, they want to be at the center of the future digital ecosystem. So for developers, this is an opportunity this is a really great opportunity. And if you can get in early, develop skills around these technologies, and create products or services that leverages Meta's new tools, you could be part of this next big tech wave. And everybody in the developer community knows right now that AI developers are getting picked up like crazy. So how does Llama 3 stack up against the likes of ChatGPT and Google's AI models? Early reports suggest that it's right there in terms of capability, especially when it comes to speed and contextual understanding. So where Meta has an edge, in my opinion, is on the integration. Llama 3 is going to be baked into Meta's ecosystem, making it a go-to for developers building on Facebook, Instagram, or any of Meta's platforms. So if you're working on AI, this is a model you need to explore. The other part they didn't talk about here, but I want to talk about, is while they are being fairly coy with this information right now, you've got to imagine that all of the data that's pumping through Facebook and Instagram, WhatsApp, and everything right now is getting fed into these models. So let's talk a little bit about kind of Meta 3, and I'm going to take a deeper dive into this, but I want to talk a little bit about Meta 3 because I think this is really big. So one of the big changes with Meta 3, and I'm going to pull up a couple of things here so we can talk about this here. So if you look at 3.2. So they released Meta 3.2. And I want to go over this just a little bit because I think this is a really interesting thing to talk about today. And I think this was actually one of the things that, in my opinion, was the biggest announcement. I think hidden into the middle of all of this was a huge announcement that they didn't announce, if that makes sense. So I think what is the revolutionizing AI with vision and vision with open customizable models. Now, so here's the takeaway. They're releasing Llama 3.2, which includes small and medium size. Now, this is really important. So Llama 3.1 still had the 405 billion input model, and this is huge, and it's great, and this is what will always be powering from Facebook on the back end, right? So when you go into Meta, into Facebook or Instagram, and you use the search, and in that search it's using the AI tools, that's always going to be powered by the 405 because it's a general model. It's huge. But the big thing that's going on here is the medium models are 11 billion and 9 billion. Now, the great part about 11 billion model here, and the benchmarks on this are amazing. The 11 billion model is open source. You can go pick it up at all your favorite places, Olama, Hugging Faces, all that. And they released this at the point of the announcement. A 9 billion means you can run this on the H100, which if your company is big enough to have one of those, great. If not, anybody can go grab a $200 graphics card that can run this 11 billion very comfortably. It runs it fast. Now, the next part is these text-only models that are 1 billion and 3 billion. So these are really interesting because this part right here that fit into mobile devices, right? Including pre-trained and instruction-tuned versions. These part, I think, are where we're going to be really interesting. And you know, I've talked on this channel before, and if you want to go back and check them, go back and check out my previous videos. But I think the thing that's really interesting about these is this bullet point, this next bullet point. The Llama 3.2, 1 billion and 3 billion models support context length of 128 tokens, and because this means that it's like a daily use. 128 tokens is going to be a conversation you're going to throw in, or an article you're going to throw at it, or something like that. It's not going to be like, hey, go check out this million lines of code base and like these library of data, right? It's something that you're going to run on your phone, right? Because it's for the state of the art. Their class for on-device use case, like summarization, instruction following, and rewriting tasks locally at the edge. These models are enabled day one for Qualcomm and MediaTek, which are your most popular embedded devices here, right? And then optimized for ARM. So this means you could actually, in theory, pick up the 1 billion model and probably get it to run even like on one of the latest Raspberry Pis. So this allows anybody, and I love this because this is the democratizing of AI here. Now, again, these models are trained on Meta, so don't think that they're like saying that they're going to be the security buzzwords are interesting here. But my point to this is, I think, is really going to be the big play here, because as we look at these, I think what you're going to see as we go over time, and this is just looking at the takeaway, but you can dive deeper into it. As we look at the benchmarks down here, you can see that even these small benchmarks, and this text is really small, so you're just going to kind of take my word for it here. But as we look at these lightweight models, you can see Gemma 2 and Phi 3.5. So see, this is where the battle's raging, right? Gemma is these little small ones, because this is where these guys want these to be running on devices, on embedded stuff. Like, this is where these model training are going to get really interesting. As you can see, exactly each of these benchmarks are going to be for different things, right? Like the math one, I'll let you guess what the math one's about. But a lot of these are for different language uses, for different, the ARC challenge. They're for specific use cases, and I think this is where these small models are going to shine. So to see that Meta is investing in Llama 3.2 for a 1 billion and a 3 billion model, to me is really exciting, because that is something that any developer, any shade tree developer, I like that term, shade tree developer, but anybody who's just working on a side hustle and wants to try to prove something out and build AI into the product, not make AI the product, Note the differentiation there. Anybody can pick these up and use them. And that's why I love this. I think this is really an exciting time to be going after working on a lot of different exciting opportunities. And so I think that's really the biggest bombshell here. I don't think the bombshell is the glasses. I think it's interesting. And I think Facebook and Meta, or Zuckerberg particularly, is trying to justify why he spent billions of dollars. But I think the thing that's going to live the tale of time here is going to be these small models. I think as we continue to learn from the big models, take the learning and implement them into the effective small models, that's where we're going to see AI really flourish. So if you're a developer in 2024, I'd say this is going to be huge. The tools that Meta unveiled at this event are just flashy. They're going to be the way to change the way you build software and interact with hardware, engage with content. The AR and the AI is neat. I'm going to put that in air quotes, neat. If you're not already working on AI and AR, okay, well, maybe you have no interest. But Meta understands that their success hinges on developers embracing their new platforms and tools. They're making it easier forever for you to dig into these tools. So if you're a software developer or a business looking to scale, Meta's 2024 roadmap and into 2025 is something that you'll want to seriously take a look at. If your systems aren't connected and you need some custom software solutions, make sure to hit us up here at Startup Hack because we've got your back. We specialize in connecting systems and building custom software that works that will help your team work like a well-oiled machine. So check out startuphack.com/Spencer and we can help you out. All right, what do you guys think? What do you think was the biggest announcement at Meta Connect? What do you think about what Zuckerberg's showing us here? Love to hear comments down below. It's the best compliment I can get is when I get comments from y'all. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and to help companies build custom software solutions. So reach out because we'd love to help. And otherwise, we will catch you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because we bring you lots of great tutorials and tips that every developer should know. See you next time.